All right, all, welcome back to our Monday nutrition call. Today, I am going to demo how to go to my website and download the nutrition guide. So here we go. Allow me to share a screen. The harder part's going to be me, as usual, knowing how to operate my own computer. All right. All right, so here we go. So you'll go over to your browser, type in this link here. It is trainathletic.us. And that is the name of our gym, Train Athletic. Here's a little picture or photo inside of the gym. Here's some of our members doing a nice rowing workout. We got some weightlifting and platforms in the background there. And so this is how you can navigate our entire website. So, right off the bat, you can just click to book a free intro if that's something that you're interested in. But those of you who have been following along these nutrition calls on YouTube, and maybe you're not yet engaged with the Zoom link, this is a good way to get started with that. So you'll scroll down. Again, if you're interested in anything else, like if you're in Olathe or Lenexa, Kansas, and you want to get involved on site with group training, personal training, you can click here. If you want to jump right into nutrition coaching, whether it be local or remote, you can jump in here. Or if you just want to get a better feel for what we're doing, what we're all about, scroll all the way down to the bottom and just go ahead and click download and just give an email, any email that you want to receive this as. So we'll go ahead and use our gym's email. By the way, this is how you can contact us directly. So info@trainathletic.us. Send me your free guide, and your guide is on your way. So shouldn't take too long. Let's hop over to the email, and bam, there you are right away. So I see you guys as a lead. You'll get some follow-up emails. You can opt out of them at any time you want. Oh, that's just actually the notification. Let's see if I get that email. So we'll wait for that email. Show you around the website a little bit more. So we've got some testimonials here, folks who were here back in 2019. We've got the blog. So let's go to the top. So I showed this off last week, but again, I try and upload a new blog post once a week. And a lot of the times it's related to these calls. So that could be a quicker way to kind of keep up with the info of what we're talking about on these calls. It's not going to be everything, but in general, you'll be able to keep up with the gist of what we're doing here in the gym and, with our nutrition calls and just things we're talking about around here. So I've got about 5 blog posts up there right now. You can check out our pricing, our schedule here. You can also go ahead and check out my background. I need to update this. When they synchronized the website, it kind of came in real clunky. But it just talks about my background. My bachelor's in psychology, a master in healthcare administration, graduate certificate in sports nutrition, certified strength and conditioning specialist with the NSCA. I was also a CrossFit level 1 trainer. When I trained back at Shogun CrossFit at Kadena Air Base, also did a little bit at Hanscom Air Force Base, although I was really, really green then, just getting started. But, talk about as a kid, baseball, football, golf, did kung fu. So all kinds of interesting stuff here. Talk about my marathons, the one on the Great Wall of China, some Ironmans. So mostly about my relationship with physical culture and my experiences there. So let's see, I think that email came through. Okay, so here's your nutrition guide. So you'll go ahead and click the link in the body of the email. And, oh, we got a guest here. I don't think we have any Elizabeths here. Maybe next door. So I'm in the gym right now. There's an Uber Eats here. And so it takes you right into the document. So I titled it Eat for Health and Performance. And right off the bat, you'll see here, we start out with water. Water is life. And in all honesty, one of the things we've talked about on these calls that I might consider adding in is maybe even a zero is oxygen. That's the very first thing you do is breathe. You take in a breath, right? Literally the first action you take as a human is breathing. And it is a skill, okay? It's not, we take it for granted. We assume we just always know how to do it, but there is a whole skill set we can develop there. So I might look at adding that in, but we get obviously right into kind of the things that people really want to take action on as far as how to actually put calories into their body. And so we talk about the why for each one of these. And I like to give rules. So rule of half is a common theme. I'm trying to find ways for you to easily think about, how to take charge and how to sort of follow the directions of this plan. So the rule of half comes up a lot. So for water, it's half your body weight in ounces each day. We come down here with carbs, rule of half means however many calories you burn in exercise, you're going to eat that. Eat half of that in grams of carbs to refuel. So if you come in the gym and you're wearing your Garmin or your Apple Watch, you realize you burn about 300 calories in your gym workout, then you're going to need between then and the end of the day, 150 grams of carbs to replenish your fuel tank. But it goes into a little bit more depth here. I usually set my baseline, so that's not including this rule of half, at 120 grams of carbs per day, or about 120 to 150, and that's how much your brain needs. So this is just a quick peek, guys. Quick peek at the guide. Give some examples here of how your meals might vary from a rest day to a training day. That's the idea of rule of half. You're adding in some extra carbohydrates to make up for that muscle glycogen that you use in training. Right, so some of our folks here are doing keto. And honestly, most of the folks here are doing keto are a little less active at the moment. So it kind of works out. And as your exercise intensity increases, I usually encourage kind of switching over to more of a paleo diet, which allows for some more carbohydrates. Again, I don't get super hung up on the definitions of keto paleo. Really, we're just trying to eat as much real foods as possible and focus on some of these better types of foods. So up here, I list this antidepressant food score or food scale. And this is just something that, basically they look for the most nutrient dense foods out there, and they categorize them by animal foods and plant foods. I'm sure this is a very comprehensive list. I'm sure you could go find other foods to add into this list that are equally as nutrient dense, but hey, it's a list and it's something for you to look at and to resource, because we're trying to come up with ideas. But you're going to see a theme here, something I talk about in the Fitness 101, right? Talk about eating beef, right? So organ meats, make it right up to the top. That's usually we're calling that beef, right? Beef liver, even beef heart. One of my favorite ground beefs is the Force of Nature ground beef with liver and heart. It's amazing, amazing superfood. And then we talk about eating greens. We talk about eating mushrooms, fish. So all these are going to make it into this antidepressant food score, food list. And I have some talks early YouTube that was before even these calls, where I'm just kind of talking into the camera, and I talk about the why. We're talking about all these different brain foods. There's lots of books out there, Grain Brain and Super Brain Food. I don't know, they all have the same, more or less the same name. The punchline to all these books is essentially the same. It's you need to increase your intake of omega-3 fatty acids, and you need to increase your intake of antioxidants. Your omega-3s are coming from this food list. So all of these seafoods are going to be really high omega-3, and even good naturally raised grass-fed beef and these organs are going to have omega-3s. Even good, like naturally raised milk, so milk that's coming from pasture raised cattle have been shown to have way more omega-3s. So you're getting your omega-3s, and then you're getting your antioxidants, your phytonutrients, all these polyphenols, all these good things from these plant foods. Okay, and we should probably even take time to talk about spices at some point. That might be something I add in here. And so we give guidance on how many carbs, how much protein. We have a list here for ideas for protein. Talk about fats. I give a rule of half here. So usually if you're doing the paleo thing, it's about half your body weight in grams of fat. It's a good starting place. Yeah, I might come through here and edit a couple things, but we talk about olive oil, coconut, avocado. That is in my Fitness 101. So that all matches up. We give some recommendations on calories, how to do the formula for total daily energy expenditure or total energy expenditure T. Give some general recommendations on if you want to lose weight, if you want to gain muscle, if you want to achieve a performance goal. When you're trying to decide, somebody asked me, well, how many calories should I eat? What exactly are my macros? It's like, I need to know your goal first, because it's a totally different conversation. If you want to lose weight, if you want to gain muscle, if you have a performance goal, those could be three very different recommendations, and we have to prioritize. You don't have to commit to one of these forever, but you shouldn't try and do all of them at the same time. You should pick which one is the most important to you right now, and we'll work on that. When you feel like you've achieved your goal, I shouldn't even say you feel like, we should write down what your goal is and we should achieve it. But if you've decided that you're where you want to be, then we can move on to the next thing. And so rule of palm, so just giving some recommendations there on how to sort of eyeball your food. But anybody who's talked to me, eyeballing something we try and do, it should be the end result. You should spend a little bit of time tracking, and I have a whole video, if you go back in YouTube, on using Chronometer. We have a couple of videos on that, on how to use Chronometer. And so we would take this guide and get you plugged into Chronometer. That'd be one of the first things we did working together. So we would do some goal setting. We'd probably do some kind of body comp weigh-in if you have access to it, minimal, just a body weight on the scale. And then take a look at your daily energy expenditure, get an idea of your typical life, foods you like, and then we would start to try and formulate sort of a perfect day or an ideal day of eating that matches up with the guidelines of this document, and matches up with, we're able to put that all into Chronometer and match it into your life. Make it something that actually works for you. So really that's the big thing, is people think I'm going to hand them a menu. And sure, I have menus, and I've actually done that in the past where I, gave everybody access to like 60 recipes. And I could still do that, but that didn't create profound change. Me just handing recipes didn't create profound change. Really, it's trying to start where you're at and start seeing, how close you are to these guidelines in the first place, and then just taking small steps to try and improve upon where you're at in, basically mastering this document. One of the things I am going to update here, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more and just get a little bit more technical on the white, yellow, blue, purple, red, orange, green. There's a Harvard article that kind of gets into this. This is more fun than anything, it's the idea of eat the rainbow. But I feel like if you have a little bit more information, you're more likely to want to do it. And that's all. For me, I'm the type of person where if I know, hey, you know what, eating greens, it's good for my bones. It's good for my muscles. You know, things like spinach actually have calcium in it. Broccoli actually has some hormone modulating factors. It's great for, it's kind of an anabolic effect, or at least anti-catabolic effect. You know, it makes you more invested in the food choices. Okay. But I want to, so I want to elaborate on this. I might even add some different colors. Really, white and yellow could probably be teased apart. So anyway, that's coming down the line, but that part's actually not super important. But I will constantly be building on this. And so I really want to hear feedback from people. I want people to get in here and digest this and ask me questions. Okay. I really want this to be a conversation, these calls. I'm always going to come with a topic, and I keep threatening to be shorter. But part of that will be, you know, if I know you have questions, then I will shorten up my presentations and open up more dialogue. Otherwise, I'm going to feel the pressure to fill the silence and just keep talking. So there you go. So that's all free for you. That's a free guide. And, you know, just obviously glancing at it now is not enough. You guys need to get in there and digest it and realize that I'm giving directions in here. I'm giving you rules. I'm giving you strategies. And these are action items that you can try and implement. You know, challenge here. You can try and implement. You're going to start to see positive changes. Okay. You're going to start to see positive changes. You're also going to notice it's actually a pretty balanced recommendation. I think people get the idea that like a hardcore keto or carnivore or whatever, but in reality is like, I just talk about those things because I think there's a lot of misinformation around them. And I want to make people confident that they can eat some foods like fats and proteins that they were maybe afraid of before. But if you actually look at my guide, it's really a pretty balanced recommendation. So yeah, so do that. Get started. That's all I got. Hey, Lisa's actually on this call for anybody watching at home. Lisa, do you have any questions at the moment?
There we go. I had you on mute, so I didn't mess up your presentation. Then I didn't know how to get off. No, I thought it was fascinating, and I will request a copy, and I will dig through it. I liked the way you had a lot of things sorted out. You know, you said, I don't want to give people a list of recipes or food things or whatever, but sometimes when I'm looking for, you know, like, oh, I need some new vegetables or something different to choose from, sometimes it's nice just to look at a big list of things and go, oh yeah, like I was looking at, forgot about escarole. Not that I'm going to eat a whole meal of it, but there's just stuff on there that I don't think about that I know we can get here. But I just kind of, you know, you get stuck in the same old, same old. So I loved just the breakdown for different reasons for the different foods, just in what I saw online today.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I actually really like grocery lists better than menus. Because that puts some of the creative challenge on you. It's like, you know, here's a grocery list. And you're like, well, what does this make? It's like, figure it out, you know, whatever you want, you know, what do you like, right? Because you could take the same ingredients and you could make an Italian dish out of it, or an Indian dish, or whatever. And that's where, you know, spices, maybe we should really talk about spices on one of these calls. That's where the fun of it is and the art of it is, and that's on you. And I know that can be overwhelming for a lot of people, but that's why I encourage picking sort of your key meal for the day and just getting really good at that. For most people, it's probably going to be dinner. That's probably when you have the most free time.
Yeah.
And so again, and I've said this on so many calls, and people want a lot of variety, right? Or they think they want a lot of variety. But if you can make breakfast automatic, or even, you know, do the intermittent fasting, you know, the fat coffee type breakfast, one less thing to think about. If you can make lunch pretty automatic, now you've got, you know, a job each day is to entertain yourself with a really delicious dinner. And you've got some guidelines for, you know, what like macronutrients should go into that, and then you can figure out how you want to spice that up and arrange that into a delicious dish. That's got to be something we embrace and have fun with. And if it's not, then maybe you look at like a meal prep service if you can afford that. But yeah, I mean, if we want big success, we got to have good, clean ingredients, and follow those guidelines. All right, so Lisa, so my challenge to you, going through that list, then let me know what you come up with. If anything
Okay.
pops out to you from your years of experience, to be like, it's almost like a piece of art, right? Everybody's going to see something different in that. So I'd be interested to hear, like, I'm looking at this document and I saw A, B, and C meals from this that I'm going to make. That would be kind of interesting to find out, like, everybody's different interpretation of it. And yeah, that would be my challenge.
Okay. I will look at it.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, nice. Short and sweet today. I'll send this out to the group, and everybody at home, I challenge you to actually download the document and dig around in it and do some work. Take on one of these challenges, take on the rules and the strategies, and make it happen.
Done.
Right. Well, Lisa, you have a fabulous rest of your day.
Thanks, Dennis. You too.
I'll see you later. See you all.
Bye.
Bye.